Hi everyone, welcome to Wordpress Web Design Masterclass, the second edition, presented by Talent Upgrade. Just like I've introduced myself before, my name is Noah Kazin, so I'll be your host for this web design course. So now let's start. Firstly, let's look at our agenda for this program. So our first agenda is Introduction to WordPress. So under this Introduction to WordPress, you learn about domain hosting and WordPress installation. Domain hosting and WordPress installation. Then the second part, building with WordPress. So building with WordPress, you'll be introduced to WordPress dashboard, the explanation of the WordPress dashboard. You will learn about themes and plugins. I noted these 2 points because themes and plugins are the major tools you need for the website to make your website stand out and function properly with designs and features. Then the third part, so now you're diving into website creation. So here we'll get busy with creating websites. The last part, quiz and conclusion. Quiz with prizes and how to market your skills section. So that part will be taken by Mr. Olaleye. So he will take you throughout the how to market your skill, how to through copywriting skill and through getting more clients, how to get more clients online, how to set a profitable business with this web design skill online. So now let's start with the introduction. So now what is the difference between web design and web development? I know we are familiar with the word web design and web development. So web development, it means it refers to the design, the colors, the outside feel on how a website looks. It requires graphics editing tools such as Adobe Illustrator, Canva, other editing software. That is, if you go to a website, the colors, the settings, the pictures, the arrangement, the outside feel, the design of the website, how it look like, what you can say, like this page you are looking at right now. I have different colors, I have different images, I have different positioning. So that is the design. How do we want the website, how do we want it to look outside for the visitors or for the users? So that's the design. So the videos on the website, the arrangement, the colors, the background themes, so those are the design. So when a person is expert in that part, we can call the person a web designer. So now for web development refers to the capacity and functionality of the website and how it works. It requires coding skills such as HTML, CSS, JavaScript, React.js, etc. Which means if different websites has their own performance, like Facebook, if you go to Facebook, Facebook is major theme for Facebook is blue and white. Facebook, the way Facebook is being arranged, the pictures, the icons, so those are the design. But when it comes to sending of message, watching of video, scrolling through the pages and visiting other pages, liking, comments, running advertisements, so those are what we want the creator of Facebook. Those are the wants Facebook to perform. Those are the functionality they want Facebook to give out to the audience. So for those functionality to come to place, for those features to appear, so coding skills is required. Or you go to a website, you want to go to another page, you go to the page, you want to fill a form on the website and submit, you fill a form, you submit. So those are the function. Those are the function of how the website will work. Or you want to make payment on a website whereby you watch videos. So the aim of the website, what the owner of the website, what he wants the website to perform, the task for users or for audience. So that's the functionality. So that is where development come to play. So that is what we mean by web development. So now, since we know the difference between web design and web development, so then why do we choose WordPress? We choose WordPress because WordPress takes the functions of design and coding, easy for beginners, complete jobs faster. So if you are a person not in the field of coding and you feel okay, I need to have a website, so let me go and learn coding, I will advise you just learn WordPress. You'll be able to you go different, you have different access to on how to create different kind of websites, even not only for your business alone. You can use website to create any kind of website. You can use website to create if websites like Facebook, a school website, any kind of website. You can use WordPress to do that. So that's why we are choosing WordPress. Even most popular companies like CNN News, Disney, some news from Amazon, some other popular companies, they use WordPress. So you can't underestimate the power of WordPress. So that's why we are going for WordPress. So now let's look at what is WordPress itself. So WordPress is an open source content management system that allows you to build website on it. So it's a CMS. So when we say CMS, it means content management system. We have different type of content management system. We have Joomla, we have Drupal. They work like WordPress, but they can never be like WordPress. WordPress is still the best because it's taking over 76.4% of the CMS market share. It started in 2003. It was built with PHP language. So that's the programming language it was built with. PHP, just like Facebook. WordPress is older than Facebook and Twitter with almost 2 decades in operation. Wow. WordPress has become adopted as this go-to CMS on the web. So it takes 76 for most of the websites you have seen today. They are being built with WordPress. They are being built with WordPress. So now let's look at the reason for how this happened. That is taking 76.4 and the most popular. Why? First thing is that it is easy to install and set up. It's simple and straightforward and easy to use, cost effective and cheap. Number 4, search engine and SEO friendly. So when we say SEO means search engine optimization. So SEO means search engine optimization. So that means your website will appear in Google search engine, to appear in Bing, to appear in Yahoo search engine, and any other kind of search engine we have. So it is easy for you to set up your WordPress website to be SEO friendly. So you can optimize your WordPress site for your text, for your content to appear. For example, I go to Google, I search for how to create WordPress website. So you'll see you have some list of websites that are talking or videos that are talking about WordPress. So for those websites to come to appear in the search, so that means those websites, the owner of the website, they have optimized their content. There's a way to do that with keywords. They have optimized their content. That's why Google is bringing those searches, and that is an advantage for you if you are into blogging, or if you are into marketing, or if you own a company. So people can just go online and search for, okay, I want to buy this. Then some websites will show up. So if you have a good SEO, if you have a good search engine optimization, you have a page in first page of Google search. your content will also come out part of the search. So that is what we mean by SEO. So you can easily do that with WordPress. Then number 5, responsible website design. When we mean something is responsive, that is when you browse a website on your desktop, that is your laptop, you browse it on your system, your Android phone, your Android mobile, or you browse it on your tab. So when you visit the site on desktop, it's the appearance, the fitness is very okay. It's very okay. It adapts to the screen size of the desktop. You understand? So when you visit the website on Android, you observe that the website, it adapts to the size of the Android. The shapes, they adapt. They are not too big. They are not big over the screen. Just like you are looking on the just like the way you saw it on the desktop view. There are some websites whereby if you visit on desktop view, they are okay, but on mobile the font will be big and the screen you only see half of the pages. So unlike when we say a responsive website, it will adapt to desktop view, Android view, and it also adapts to tab view, to adapt to the size of the screen. It can change, it can expand, it can contract. So that's what we mean by responsive website design. So when we start creating websites in the third session of this class, you understand more better what we mean by WordPress, website design, and the likes. Then lot of design options. That's a lot of design option, the fonts, the text, So then number 7, no HTML or code editing needed. Yeah, even though you have to do that, maybe just 1%. You can just add some little code if you are good in coding. That's why we say WordPress is for both development and designing. So on-prem customizable, multiple users with different permission levels. So when we say this in this number 9, we mean you can when you have a WordPress, you can give different people, that is, you can add users to your website. People can register and set limits for them. Maybe you want this person can comment, this can't comment, this person can be an administrator, this person is a subscriber, you can do this, you can do that. You can assign different permission levels on your website. Just like even at the WordPress dashboard, you can add more than a user. You are the owner of the WordPress, you can add more people under you. They should work with you on the same dashboard, but you can set limits for them. Okay, I want you should be in charge of posting content alone, so the person can't do any other tasks apart from posting content. But okay, let's come to the aspect of people registering on your site. Okay, people register on your site, you can set limits for different kind of people. Maybe like a membership website, when people register, maybe they have to pay. Those that pay will have access to this, to these features, you understand, on your website. So you can set WordPress website that way when you have that kind of website. So that's the meaning of different permission level, multiple users. So then the last one, e-commerce. You can set up an online business, like an online store, online business, and sell things online when you have a WordPress website. So that is what we mean. So that is why we are choosing WordPress. So now let's look at some important hosting terms. So when we understand the meaning of WordPress, you've understood the difference between web design and web development. You can now, let's say you want to purchase our domain and hosting. For a beginner, you have to know the important hosting terms before you purchase your hosting. So the first hosting term we are going to look here is a shared hosting. So I'm going to mention four type of hosting here they are the most popular hosting terms you need to take note of. Anytime you visit any website or any domain or hosting website, if you want to purchase domain or hosting, you have to consider 4 kind of domain. The first one is shared hosting. The second is VPS hosting. The third is the third sorry, I mean three kind of hosting: shared hosting, VPS hosting, and dedicated hosting. So let me talk on shared hosting. Is the least expensive hosting solution. So the hosting are just like, let me explain what you understand what we mean by hosting. So they are just like online storage whereby all the files of your website, all your images, anything you use on your website, your website keep expanding. So you can host your website online. You will be given access to storage online and some other features like the disk space, the IP address, the security of the website. So some major hosting websites, that is websites that provide hosting for customers, they have these features. So the most that is the cheapest of them all is shared hosting. So if you have a business, you just build a website, so you have to get an hosting. So that's the then the second one is unlimited hosting. So the shared hosting, you will share space with other people on the website. They won't have access to your files, but the owner of the website, like just like you have an apartment, you have a just like if you have a house, then you have a house now, then the house has different rooms, and each room is allocated for different people. you know you can They won't have access to each other because you have barriers. So that's just like shared hosting. You have access to your own store differently. So then that is your own storage space differently. Then you have unlimited hosting. So unlimited hosting means all the features you'll be given will be unlimited, just like unlimited data, unlimited disk space, and the likes. So there are some companies that do offer unlimited hosting. Yeah, there are some companies like that. So then we have VPS hosting. Is a little that is it is expensive than shared hosting and less expensive than dedicated hosting. So now I mentioned dedicated hosting here. That means that dedicated hosting is the expensive of them all. So VPS hosting is just like a virtual private server. It has more features than shared hosting. Yeah, virtual private server. You can see the here is private, but shared hosting are sharing resources with other people. But VPS is private. Then when we talk of dedicated hosting, you are not sharing it. It is not like a private stuff. It is being allocated to you only. It is allocated to you only. You can do whatever you like with it, just like you were given a whole company. But VPS just like a virtual private server that you can use for speed for some features, and that's different features. It depends on the hosting site you go. They have different packages. Cloud hosting, all this I've mentioned: shared hosting, VPS hosting, they are cloud hosting. When you put file online, when you host your website online, definitely you are hosting on the cloud. So that's the meaning of cloud hosting. Then SSL, it stands for secure socket layer. So it's just when you okay, now let's get it right. If your website is encrypted with SSL, that is secure to to perform some transactions, whereby it can be infiltrated by hackers or spoofers. You understand? So you at the top right corner of your browser, you see something like a padlock. So that means the website is encrypted with what? SSL. It's secured. So if the website is not secured, you see a red slash whereby your browser will notify that this website you want to continue, like when you are browsing on Chrome. So that means the website is not secure to perform some transaction. But if the website is secured, you will notice it will have in the link you have HTTPS. So HTTP means Hypertext Transfer Protocol. So when you have S, it means that the website is what secured with what? SSL. So SSL come when you want to purchase your hosting package. So you have to consider SSL. Then dedicated IP, we are all familiar with IP address. We're familiar IP. So it means Internet Protocol. So they are just address used that is tied to your website. So whenever you visit a website, you type what is my IP to bring your IP location. You understand? So different country, different states, different network have their own IP. So that's the meaning of IP. That is just like an address, it's just like an address on the internet. You can't use home address for the internet, so that's why the internet has come about an IP address for your browser. So then the disk space is the amount of storage you have in your hosting plan. Different hosting, like shared hosting. Under shared hosting, your hosting website will tell you we have basic, we have medium, we have premium. So if you purchase basic hosting, you get so amount of disk space, so you get SSL. Then if you purchase this and that, you get different features. So it depends. So disk space is very important. So consider your disk space so that it can contain your HTML pages, your database, the images, any kind of file you are putting on your website, and so on. Then email hosting. When you purchase an hosting, you want your domain to be connected to your email. Then you have to consider email hosting. If you purchase a domain, let me quickly, I will explain domain later. So when you have a domain name and you want to host your domain name, you want to have an email connected to your domain name, then you have to consider email hosting. So all these packages I mentioned, shared hosting, VPNs, and the likes. So when you are reading the features, if I buy this, I'll get this. So you have to consider, if you need an email that is connected to your domain name, you have to consider email hosting. Like the example we have here, name@youorganization.com. Name@youorganization.com. So just like support@flutter.com, payment@flutterwave.com. You can use your name like admin@askgain.com. So if I have an hosting package and I have access to email, so I can create email. So hosting package can allow you to create multiple email, maybe 3 email, unlimited email, depending on the package you choose, maybe like premium, basic, under any of the hosting, either shared, VPS, and dedicated hosting. So web hosting control panel. So is a web-based interface provided by web hosting services that allows users to manage servers and hosted service. So you manage servers and hosted services. So what we mean here is that when you purchase hosting, you'll be given access to what's known as control panel. So inside your control panel, you have access to managing your files, your database, your activating your SSL, adding domain, subdomain, adding then on your control panel you have access to install WordPress. It's just like a tool, it's just like a tool. Understand? So the key to when you purchase any of the hosting, that means you have been assigned a key. You have a key. So for you to use that key, you have to open a door. So when you open that door, now the door, if you open the door, I'm just using as an example. Then you see different, you have different views in the room. Maybe you have the parlor, the kitchen, and each of the rooms in the place, it has different purpose. So that's just like a control panel. You understand? When you buy hosting, that means you have been assigned a key. You have been assigned a bunch of keys. So when you open the main door, then you have access to other doors. That's the meaning of control panel. So in your control panel, you can install WordPress. So we have a recap on this later before we get starting to build website. So then domain. It is where you buy domain, then you can now host it. You can host the domain. So what we mean by domain name? Domain name is, they are just like your business name, like someone that sells shoes, someone that sells clothing. So clothing.com. So be very careful if you are choosing domain name. The domain name is what people see. They will understand your business. Like someone selling clothing, different kind of clothing. The person can say, okay, my website is bolaclothings.com. You understand? bolaclothing.so. So that's a domain name. Then the extensions, that .com, .org, those are extensions. So we have top level domain. That is, when you say a top level domain, that is the domain is representing, the extension in that domain is representing a country like .ng, .us, .uk, .ca, .in. So that's any, if you see that kind of domain, so that means the domain is a top level domain. It's a top level domain. So maybe clothing.uk. So is a top level domain. So then domain packing, it means you can have different extensions. When you purchase a domain, you can purchase .com of the same name, .net of the same name, and leave it online. Then traffic will come in. Even those if you leave it online, any company, any domain registrar whereby you buy that domain from, they can even pay you. So that's domain packing. So you can leave it online, just secure it without using. You have different extensions. You pack your domain name. You buy .net of the same name, bolaclothing.net, bolaclothing.com, .org. You understand? And you leave them. That means you want your business to be secured. You understand? You don't want to share your name with anybody, so you pack the domain name. So that is what we mean by domain packing. Then we talk of domain privacy. Domain privacy, when you purchase a domain, you have your name, your address, your phone number. So your name will be attributed to that domain name. So there's a site called Voice. So if you go to voice.com, if you put a domain name, it will bring out the info of the domain. That is the person that owns the domain, the company that registered the domain, the IP address and select. But if you want to protect that stuff, you have to consider your domain privacy. So if you are purchasing hosting domain, some hosting website like GoDaddy and Bluehost, they recommend it. You want to add voice protection, that is your domain privacy. You don't want people to see details about your domain. So it's very important. You can consider domain privacy. Then domain registrar. What do we mean by domain registrar? That is the company that register your name. So let me give an example of some company like GoDaddy, Bluehost, TrueHost, Ask Again. So those are registrars. They are the people that they are the company that anytime you buy a domain from a website or from a company, that company is domain registrar. So DNS, domain naming system, it translates the internet domain names and host names to IP address. So different company has their own DNS. So anytime you purchase a domain, their DNS will be attributed to your domain name. So if you buy a domain name in a company, you can even transfer the domain name to another company. Just that you have to change the DNS. There's a way to do that. You'll learn more better later. So then ICANN, the meaning of ICANN, Internet Corporation for Assigned Names and Numbers. So they are organization in charge. They are just like let's say standard organization they are the one in charge of allocating of these domain names. You understand? They're the one in charge of allocating domain names. They keep we can have a website whereby you can purchase domain. Those domains are available on the website due to the validity of ICANN. Due to the coordination of ICANN, they make these names available. You understand? Then top level domain. The internet has a hierarchy domain name system which places some domain at a high priority than others. For example, if I buy a .com domain, you can't compare a .com domain with a .co domain. You understand? So people see .com domain as wow, this domain is standard. So that's meaning of top level. Then followed by maybe let's say .uk or .ng. People will feel that this is a top level domain. Top level, followed by is representing a country. So those domain are top level. Then you cannot choose a .com, then followed by .com.ng, followed by .co.so. that's the level of what I mean by top level domain. So that's the hierarchy of domains. Understand? So you get to understand better. So when you want to build a website, you purchase a domain, then you host the domain name. You understand? You host the domain name. So I've explained hosting. When you host the domain name, then you have access to what? To a what? Control panel. That's just a simple step. You buy a domain name, you host the domain name, then you have access to what? Control panel, where you can host your website. Let me repeat myself. You buy a domain name, you host the domain in a web hosting website, then after that, then you'll be given access to what? Control panel and any other features, so that you'll be able to host your website online on the cloud. That's cloud hosting. You understand? So those are the 3 steps to take. So in our next class, we'll be talking about WordPress installation. Then we'll talk about. Let me just take you through what you'll be learning. We'll introduce ourselves to dashboard. You'll get used to dashboard. We'll explain the dashboard. Then we will explain the most important settings. We learn about themes and plugins. Yeah, I said we have free themes and pro themes. We have free plugins, and so in the bonus group, I gave some files, and the files were very useful. If you want to purchase themes and plugins, you have to spend money on them. That is pro themes. You know, when we say something is pro, that means it has more feature than normal free stuff. So that's why, I gave you a bonus. You get to understand how to use the bonus. You understand? It's worth some amount of dollars to get those things and plugins. You get to know their prices when we get to this part. Then we will talk about categories of plugins. We have SEO plugins. Those are categories. So each category, under them we have different kind of plugins. You understand? And different created by different developers. So you learn about. So after these categories of plugins, then we now get to work. Then our goal, what do we want to achieve? Our aim is to create a professional website that offers various online and offline services. The website will have 4 pages: products and services, payment gateway using Paystack, section to book an appointment. So if you this is our goal. So if you are able to do this, you can create any kind of business website. You can beat your chest and create any kind of business website. That is a website whereby if you have a service you are offering to people, if you are able to do this, I'm telling you, you can create any website. So the setup is install theme, plugins, pages, and so I'm just showing you this for you to know what you are going to go through what you are going to learn in this class. So these are the stuff you are going to learn. Then you do this. Recommended plugins to install and activate. We have 5 plugins you have to install. You understand, to get perfection of your website. Then after creating your website, you can activate testing your website on browser, implement what you have learned, and ask questions. You can share. So I also have paid classes if you are interested. We'll talk about that later. Then the final place, how to market any skill. That will be presented by the CEO of Digital Skill Academy, Mr. Olale aka Gbajúmọ̀. So he'll be teaching you on how to market this WordPress skill. So that's just a brief intro so get prepared. Thanks for watching. You are welcome to Talent Upgrade. We meet in the next video. That is the next session of the class, where I'll be talking about WordPress installation. So our major aim is to install WordPress, but before you get WordPress, you have to be familiar with domain and hosting. Buy a domain, you host the domain, then you have access to control panel, then we install WordPress. So thanks for watching.